On 6th of June, you all may have seen how India created history. But behind this marvel, this engineering marvel, what really went behind? And the idea, the objective of the long form tonight is to get into the challenges of building this engineering marvel. Joining me is the Union Minister, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. And the long form tonight, we have basically delved into how this was all made and how we have achieved a historic feat. But I want to get back to the history of it, how it all started. It got stuck for a bit, as I understand, and finally we have been able to achieve world's tallest bridge. How was that possible?
Construction of this bridge, Chenab Bridge, is basically a clear demonstration of strong willpower, focus on execution. Our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, when he took the responsibility in 2014, before that, a large and the most difficult part of this section, starting from Katra all the way to Banihal, that was the section which was kept pending by the previous governments.
Right.
The valley part was done, and this was the difficult part which was still to be done. Initially, there were two alignments to be, out of the two, one had to be decided. So, based on the technical feasibility, one alignment which is this alignment on which finally the line got built, that was selected. And when this entire area is basically seismic zone 5, and between the hills, when there is a steep kind of valley, then the wind speeds increase a lot.
Right.
It's Bernoulli's principle. So here the wind speeds can be as high as 150 kilometers per hour, like a cyclonic wind.
Okay.
So this entire structure had to be designed keeping in mind the seismic activity as well as the wind speeds which are there. Then comes the challenge of building the foundation. Now, being a young mountain, Himalayas,
Right.
the foundation has to be designed in a very unique way. So the foundation is almost like a 9-story building out here, and the base of the foundation is like half a football field.
Okay.
That's the way it is done. Then there are anchors which go deep inside the deep inside the hill, both sides,
Okay.
so that the foundation remains stable.
Right.
Then came the overall design of the arch. Now, arch is a hollow tubular structure which is then filled with concrete.
Okay.
Then the challenge is like, imagine getting all these equipment, all these.
I'm told that several of the villages today will actually benefit from the roads that have been created.
Exactly. More than 200 kilometers of roads
Right.
were constructed to bring the material
Machinery.
and machinery out here. So it was very challenging. Then this arch was built, and then on top of this, the entire deck was built.
Okay.
And now the bridge is complete. And so much of the construction was done using these cranes. This is one crane. This is crane 2. There is a long wire, you see.
Okay.
Rope you can see.
Okay.
So the equipment carrying machines, basically the crane moves on this, brings it down to the right place, and then puts it there. A lot of welding is done in situ, and it's very, very complex.
Minister, if I have to understand, what is that technology that we had to bring in, because this was a conglomeration that we brought in, expertise from other countries, Finland, Germany, these are few of the countries that their expertise was also brought in. What is it that we've experimented absolutely new? This kind of a civil engineering has not been experimented in other parts of the world. So what is it that you would like to tell the people who are watching tonight that we've been able to achieve, we've been able to bring on the table something completely new?
Two things. First is the Himalayan geotechnical characteristics.
Okay.
Using that, how do we design things? Second is a totally new Himalayan tunneling method.
Okay.
Now, when you build a tunnel, if the strata is very like a rock, very strong rock, solid rock, then it's very easy to do a tunnel. Then basically, because the entire force of the mountain is taken by the strata.
Right.
But if it is a soft strata, like what we find in Himalayan region, then the entire load of the mountain basically forces the tunnel to collapse.
Okay.
When the strata is soft, then it tends to move. So when we were doing all these tunnels, this entire project is like a tunnel, a bridge, a tunnel, a bridge, a tunnel, a bridge. That is the way it is. So for example, this Katra Banihal section, out of the 111 kilometers, 97 kilometers is tunnels and 7 kilometers is bridges. So that is 104 kilometers, right?
It's a one of its kind, where you're the entire track that is going through a tunnel and a bridge format.
Correct. So we did a lot of innovations, and we created a Himalayan tunneling method in which basically how do we convert this soft soil into a harder rock kind of version. So we injected PU foam in it.
Okay.
PU is a plastic, polyurethane. That PU, once it gets inside the pores of the soft soil, it makes it very strong.
Okay.
It becomes almost like a rock. So for example, when you are doing a tunnel here, for example, let's take this surface.
Okay.
Now, if this is a soft soil, then if you do a tunnel, then it will try to collapse and there will be a viscous water flow out there. But once you make it solid, then you can easily cut it and then you put the surface around it.
Okay.
So that's the way. So it's a very unique thing.
This actually also helps us in various of the tunnel projects that we are doing in the other parts of the country, and particularly the challenges that we have seen, say for instance in Uttarakhand.
In the Himalayan region, Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, then entire northeast, Sikkim. So all these areas have this technology now.
Can I now ask you that was there a moment in this entire process that it was seen as there was a stumbling block, and perhaps for a moment you all felt that it's going to be one of the most challenging projects that you all have undertaken when this government came to power?
T33 was one of those Tunnel 33.
Right.
That basically crosses a fault. So that was a very difficult part of the entire thing, because almost like viscous material flowing out of it. It was hardly not even like rock, forget solid rock. So that was very, very difficult. It really was very challenging. Some of the best experts from our country as well as international experts have worked on it, and that is one. Second was there was a PIL, very unnecessary PIL, which kind of created a lot of, which wasted a couple of years, 3 years it wasted. So those were the things. But otherwise, overall, the direction of the project was, our Prime Minister's vision was very clear on it, and his determination to complete it was like rock solid, and his guidance was always that we must make sure that this benefits a very large section of people in Jammu and Kashmir. And the idea was to connect Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu and Srinagar with a all-weather continuous. So, for example, the trains which are designed for this, these are also very special trains. Now, when you run trains at high altitude and minus 15 degrees Celsius kind of temperatures and snow everywhere, then you require to design them in a very special way. The pipes have to be insulated in a particular way. Otherwise, water will freeze and expand, and then the pipes will blow. So you have to expand. You have to design the entire thing in a very special way. Then instead of cooling, most of the time you'll require heating in the train. Then the entire body also has to be designed in a very unique way, because you can't. When there's a low pressure around at higher altitudes, then the body design becomes very challenging.
Right.
So all those things were taken into consideration when we designed the Vande Bharats which are running on it and the other trains which are running on it.
I'll end this by asking you that powerful imagery that we saw yesterday, when the Prime Minister there waving the tricolour, sending across a message here. I want to ask you, what is it that the Prime Minister had to tell you, Minister, the moment he saw that this was finally completed, which was being touted as one of the biggest projects? You're taking away the isolation that the valley had faced for several years, put together because of the weather, etc. Today the valley would actually have the benefit of being available through the year. What is it that the Prime Minister had to tell you after the completion of the project?
It shows the resolve of the country. It shows the technical and engineering capabilities of our country, and it shows a very strong determination of our entire government, where we want to make sure that the people of Kashmir, they get the benefits of India's development.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for joining us on this broadcast and helping us understand. I hope today we have been able to take you through the behind the scenes and why all of us should be proud of what we have achieved on 6th of June.